Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so yesterday, Tuesday, something utterly shameful and very disgraceful happened in the United States of America, and it just added to the ongoing decline of the republic from a once democratic superpower to a clear banana republic. Virtually everything about America is just in decline, and it's so sad to watch, you know. You see, when I make videos like this, permit me to say, I do it because I want to be able to help my people, to help my African people who are stuck with the colonially imposed mainstream media networks that broadcast to people in Africa, especially West Africans, who do not have the luxury of choice or alternatives when it comes to the sources for the international news we consume. We are stuck with CNN and Al Jazeera, which has been heavily compromised. And you know, if you don't report things along the line of the narrative that the global world order that dominates and that has colonized Africa actually approves of, they yank you off their space. That's why all you listen to for international news is CNN. Whatever they feed you is what you're gonna take. And CNN is the worst place for anyone to take news from. The most biased network I've ever seen in my life, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. I remember the days when I fought for Trump. I made videos often, always to counter the lies of CNN. They are kept there to intentionally mislead you, to intentionally damage your brain cells with lies. And that's what you get when you don't have freedom. If you watched CNN prior to the arraignment of Donald Trump yesterday, you would be thinking, oh my gosh, by evening he would be in jail already wearing his jumpsuit and stuff like that. They didn't want to let people know what that whole nonsense yesterday was about. Stormy Daniels' case that was brought by Alvin Bragg, a Democrat who ran for the office of the DA of the District of Manhattan by saying that he would get Trump. That's what he promised when he was running for that office. And there have now been a lot of established links between his election and George Soros, who is an avowed enemy of Donald Trump. You know the name Soros. So Alvin Bragg yesterday felt like it was okay to make history in a very bad way and for all the wrong reasons in America, and break record and do something that hasn't happened in over 200 years. In fact, for as long as America has been in existence. He felt that those charges he presented were enough to make that history that he made yesterday and disgraced America before the whole world. Of course, you saw how even the pundits on mainstream media, even some never Trumpers, people who never liked Trump, who still don't like Trump, all of them were like confused. Where are the charges? What is this? You brought misdemeanors, and before a misdemeanor is elevated to a felony, there has to be an intent to use that misdemeanor to cover a crime. People were hoping they were going to be shown the crime, the extra crime they uncovered, that Trump was going to use these misdemeanors to cover. And there was nothing there. The whole 34-count charge, the same thing that they've been rehashing for the last few years. And for people who do not know this story, Stormy Daniels is a porn star, an adult film star, who claimed that Trump slept with her in 2006. That also in 2016, when Trump ran for office, that Trump paid her to keep quiet about the affair, and that he did that through his lawyer, his former lawyer, Michael Cohen. At the time that this was happening, Michael Cohen said it's a lie, that Trump didn't tell him to do it. He didn't even know he did it, that he paid with his own money. And later on, when prosecution showed up, Michael Cohen admitted that Trump knew about it and all of that. Yeah? Now, if someone committed a crime, personal crime, it's not really a crime, but it's an affair you had with someone. But where the issue is if Trump slept with this lady, which he claims he did not sleep with her, if he did sleep with her, and then during elections he goes to pay her to say don't talk about it so that the electorate doesn't know, and to worsen the whole thing, the money used to pay her is also campaign fund, as they claimed. That way Trump has committed a felony. It's a major crime. But if Trump also did that because he wanted to preserve his marriage, he wanted to protect his home or his wife from knowing this, so that his home is protected, he has not committed any crime. Edward did the same thing, a Democrat. He proved that he did it just to preserve his family, to protect his home, and he was acquitted. Now, how does anybody get into Trump's mind, get to know his motives on why this was done? That is if indeed he actually did it. That's the case that they were bringing up yesterday to break record and arrest an American president for the first time in history. So people were expecting to see more, to see extra details, to prove that Trump actually did this with the intent to deceive the electorate, and that he used election campaign money to do this. When they showed up, there was zero proof to that effect. Nothing. So when you were inviting a former president and bringing him to arrest him, how is it that you didn't have extra evidence? Like I said, all of this that they do is so they can put a label on Trump and then use that label on him as he goes into election campaign for 2024. Do you know that the same Tuesday yesterday, as they were arraigning former President Trump, court awarded Trump an extra nearly $122,000 to be paid by Stormy Daniels? Because here's the deal. Stormy Daniels claimed that Trump was threatening to keep quiet and not talk about it, and that's why they paid. Trump tweeted and said she's a liar. Stormy then sued Trump for defamation, that Trump is making her look like a liar. People are now looking at her that she's lying, that she's telling the truth. So to prove it, she went to sue Trump, something she knew was going nowhere. Guess what? When she sued Trump, the judge threw away the case and then awarded Trump legal fees to be paid by Stormy Daniels. Now, this latest one that was awarded to Trump happened on the same day they were arraigning Donald Trump in court, arresting him over the same lady. And that same lady now was told to pay him an extra $122,000. And that brings to total about $600,000 in total that the court had asked this lady to pay Trump, someone who sued someone for defamation. The case was thrown away, and she's now the one paying for Trump's legal fees. And this is the lady you took Trump to court for. The moment they saw that he is serious about running, the moment they saw that he's gaining a lot of traction, boom. And the sad thing is that a lot of people will believe this rubbish. See how confused the whole world is. Like, what just happened? The case, the 34-count charge you brought, empty, nothing. If you're gonna break such history and do something that hasn't happened for as long as America had existed, you will bring something very potent, powerful, that everybody will look at and say, this is it. Then no. Same rehashed story. Who are your witnesses? They asked him. He says Stormy Daniels, that is paying Trump his legal fees for the so-called defamation suit that he filed against Trump. He said Michael Cohen, that his own lawyer, you can read it up, went and testified that he's a serial liar. His own lawyer he hired, one of his lawyers. These are the people that Alvin Bragg is saying he will use without providing any extra information more than what people were already used to. The Federal Electoral Commission, for your information, threw away this case for lack of merit. Federal Electoral Commission and said that Trump did not violate any electoral law, which is why they say he committed felony. FEC threw it away. Federal prosecutors threw it away. Even the previous DA, the predecessor of this guy called Alvin Bragg, the Democrat, looked at it, threw it away. Now, when the Bragg guy brought it up, everybody was expecting, okay, maybe he found something new, something totally different out of the blue that will blow everybody's mind. It came, was exactly the same thing. Why then did you give America such a bad name? You thought you were doing Trump. It happened during Pelosi when she was coming up with that phony impeachment thing. I went and made a video and told you it was all just to dent the image of this guy because they are too scared of Trump. They fear him like they fear death, even worse than they fear death. That's what they did this for, to put a badge on him. If not that the showing was so disgraceful, by now CNN would have been running with it heavily. Oh, the first former president in the history of America to be arrested. No, that badge, that dent, that's all. I'm telling you, it was, I posted it on my Twitter. I said, it's all for show. There's no substance. And that's exactly what happened. Africans, wake up. As we go into this next era of Trump, as Trump begins to run for 2024, your brain cells are going to suffer if you watch too much CNN. For me, I have a lot of resistance and immunity to them. So when I watch them, I just pick up the lies and expose them. But for you who believe what they say, it's going to be very traumatizing for you. Advise yourself, go online, look for RT, look for other networks, do your own personal research. You can just read news and get alternative views to anything, because CNN is going to be openly antagonistic to Trump. It's a propaganda machine against individuals who don't go with the narrative of the New World Order, the order that has kept Africa in slavery for all these years. And that's why I am openly against them. Wake up, Africa. Wake up, Nigerian journalists. Wake up, African journalists, and start doing your own research. Stop feeding our people with the garbage you take from CNN. May God help us. Have a good day.